Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I am Cindy and today I want to unbox a package from Oneness Emporium. This is a deck I've bought myself from Cheryl, and so I thought, yeah, let's unbox it together. Take a look at this deck together. There's a deck and a guidebook. Ooh. And I have a free gift. A pentagram wooden incense ash catcher. Nice. Thank you, Cheryl. She's amazing, isn't she? All these little treats. Thank you. Last time it was a bookmark, which was amazing. And now I've got an ash catcher. Have a look at that in a second. So let's take it. How generous. That is so generous, isn't it? And especially this time of year as we're in October. Oh, that's really nice. Thank you so much, Cheryl. It's really appreciated. Thank you. Let's get into the box. It's more than I thought it would be. Oh, we've got some spooky paper for Halloween. How cool is that? And an envelope with... Oh, look at this. Skulls and roses with a thank you card. I love that. Plain black on the back, and there's another witch's rune card, which is the moon one, which I do already actually have that one. So yeah, that's cool. So that's the envelope. I'm loving this tissue paper. Oh, that's a keeper. So let's carefully open it, and we have the Earth Magick Tarot Hermetic Prophecies and a guidebook that goes along with it. Now then, people have said that this aesthetic is very similar to Pagan Otherworld, which is their deck I don't have, and the Myth Oracle, which is another deck that I don't have. So this is a sort of new aesthetic for me. Let's take the cellophane off. Oh, it's a nice feel to this. Very smooth. So I think Daniel Martin Diaz is what this is about. Daniel Martin Diaz, I presume. This is going to be really interesting, isn't it? So the contents, the majors, the minors, and then intentions. Okay. So we're actually straight into the meanings. There's no preamble with this book. What's at the back? An illustration. Is this supposed to be the mouth of hell? I don't know. Intentions. So it says here, my ambition was never to hand over the ultimate truth or a rule book, but to inspire and even provoke the seeker's imagination or sixth sense by conveying my own intuitive, candid, straightforward and at times cryptic perceptions of these transmundane cards. My essential hope and aspiration were to hearten and guide the seeker to ignite their inner fire, dive into emotional depths and find a personal perspective of each card, while connecting the readings to everyday life on Earth. And Daniel Martin Diaz says, in my work I seek to reveal the mysterious with arcane imagery and techniques that make sense to me on a deep level that words cannot qualify. Okay, so we'll take a look at the cards, and then it's got a seal over here, which I am not going to break. First printing 2025. Yeah, I know my Latin. Actually, it's not too difficult on this year, is it? Oh, so we have a very lush red inner colour to the box. Backs of the cards are the same as the box design. Cards seem quite large. So we've got a title card here, which is the same as we saw in the book. So let me see, put it this way. It's a little bit taller and a little bit wider than a conventional Rider-Waite Smith. That's a Centennial edition there. So let's look at these cards because I'm quite intrigued with this deck. So we've got a wand, a sword, a pentacle and a cup. So we've got all of the elements there on this card, on this title card. And then we've got that says Earth Magic. So just like the ones in the black and white images now in the book, this one and this one in colour. And they're very muted colours. It's lovely cardstock. Okay, we go with the Fool. The Fool's in a bit of a rush. Looks like this is a fox actually, holding a star. There's the sun. And we've got a symbol up here as well. Magician. That's interesting. They've got an extra hand pointing down with this finger, pointing up with this extra hand. The tools of the suits on the table there. Oh, look at this for a high priestess. Actually got the moon in their hands. Direct communication. And we've also got symbology up here at the top of these pillars. The Empress. And the Empress's hands aren't hands, they're branches. And they're holding this dove and a skull here. This is very interesting and totally outside of my knowledge. Look how big the Emperor is in comparison to the little village here. And the ram as well. He's got the world. He's got another ram on his head. Crystal on the top of the wand. It's going to be really interesting to delve into this deck because it is, as I say, it's a little bit out of my comfort zone. And I don't have anything like this in my collection. Okay, so our hermit has the keys to all knowledge. But he's a skeleton. Oh, skeleton keys. The Lovers. So these are all nerves. That's quite clever, isn't it, really, when you think that our nerves are stimulated by another person. I've got this upside down skull in the tree. Wow. The Chariot here, very unusual, very... It sort of reminds me of alchemy as well. And I presume that's what part of this deck is about. So we've got the Strength card here, being held back. Yeah, I think this is an alchemical type deck. Is the Hermit. With these dots coming from the star here. We've got a candle flame here, not an actual lamp. Wheel of Fortune. This is so different. So different. I mean, yes, we've got Justice here with the Sword of Truth. Very much like the Ace of Swords there with the sword going through the crown. And we've got the scales here, but we've got a face in the scales. Justice is blind. I'm not quite sure what this is about at the bottom here. Oh, the Hanged Man. He's been shot through with arrows. Death. Scorpion. And Hourglass. Reminding us again that time is finite. Temperance. Well, this looks like a statue of an angel. Okay, so this is Kronos eating his children. And the angel's trumpet. There's Saturn. This is so interesting. The tower. So interesting. We don't even have people falling out, but we've got somebody almost walking a gangplank there. The star. Moon. Sun. Judgment. These people here. Gosh, the world. So that was the major arcana, and very different to anything I have. I'm going to be very interested to read the guidebook for this deck. I don't think it would be as open to me without the guidebook, actually. So Ace of Cups, so we have got the symbol here for water. This is, okay, this is an image that I'm used to for the Ace of Cups. So no people here, but we have got this caducus made of winged serpents. We've got celestial symbols up there as well. So is this a progression here? Because we have these serpents and then we've got this serpent. And this sort of reminds me, not that I know a lot about it, but of the Marseille configuration of cups. I wonder if there's an overlap. See, this is traditional Rider-Waite-Smith depiction with the Ace of Cups coming from the side here in the 4. But we don't have anyone under the tree. But we do have a frog. There's the 5. That's quite a familiar image. You've still got the bridge, the water, and the home in the background, and the spilt cups and the upright ones not being attended to. And 6 of Cups. That reminds me more of a 7. But there's the 7. I suppose with all these beautiful foliage here, it's that nostalgia, times were better in the past. 8. The all-seeing eye there. This sort of dragon serpent type thing here. Gosh, it's 10. Okay, page. From images that I've seen of pagan other worlds, then I can sort of see why people are saying it's very similar. Knight of Cups. Queen. King. And on to Swords. Another sea serpent. 4. 5. Interesting, the lack of people in these cards. So we do have the air sign for the sword suit. This is very, I don't know, it sort of reminds me of both Thoth and Marseille to a degree. Oh, we've got a person in the 8. Oh, that's nasty. Yeah, they seem quite Renaissance led as well. Page. The centaur for the knight. Yeah, very fantastical creatures, isn't there, in these images? There's the king. What is this about? Looks like a UFO. Okay, wands. So we have fire symbol at the top there. The hand is coming out of the world there. So the world is being offered to you. Will you take it? So you have a Rider-Waite-Smith banner here. No people again. 5. 6. Again, a configuration here, but we have got a hand there. very familiar image. This is a skeleton on the 9. And again, that 10 is like the 7. That's intriguing. Okay, page. Looks like a Roman soldier. Knights. Notice the numbers as well on the court cards, which is unusual. Green. Sunflower, no cat. Wow, look at that king. Looks like a demon here. I wonder if it explains the imagery in the guidebook. Anyway, Ace of Coins. So Rowan tree. 2 hands coming out of a cloud. This reminds me of Robert M. Place's work, which is what is leading me to believe there's an alchemical element to these cards. We're focusing more on inner work. All the tools here. So again, we've got a branch for a hand on this image here. Snakes coming out of the head, is it? I'm not quite sure. Page of Coins has a ship on their head. Nice. It's a unicorn. We've got dragons and serpents. We've got a face on the back here and on the front there. That's a little reminiscent of Patrick Valence's work, especially this one in the Deviant Moon Tarot. Queen. Again, we have the Earth sign and the King, which again we have time. He's taken time to get where he is. That hasn't come quickly, and that his time's running out. Look, definitely his time's running out there. The sands of time. Right, I am going to have a look at a couple of cards from the guidebook. So I'm going to have a look at this amazing devil. Look at the 3 of Cups. Now I'll look at that King, I think. Okay, so those are the cards that I've chosen to look at the guidebook for. So we'll start with the Devil. And it says the Devil is a contrasted character. Despite his bad reputation, he is more than just the evil ruler of hell and master of pain and suffering. The Devil card in tarot traditionally stands for shame, guilt, abuse, trauma, jealousy, greed, bad relationships. In more modern terms, this card also speaks of lust, perversion, sexual and emotional submissiveness or dominance, forbidden animalistic pleasures and fiery passions. To some, this is an intimidating and alarming card, and to others, it's their absolute favourite. It all depends on the perspective of the seeker and where they are coming from. Because even though we are not all indulging in sinful orgies of the flesh, we are all simple, lustful beings, with desires, shames and flaws. We all find satisfaction in guilty pleasures now and then, or sometimes act out in rage or jealousy due to insecurity, low self-esteem or fear. Whether we choose to embrace these primal human characteristics or hide them, they will always be a part of us. And this is where the Devil is your rowdy yet very supportive friend, the master of exposing and liberating our inner darkness and shadow sides, while pointing out latent desires or shameful lusting. He will break in the door to whatever closet we are hiding in and lead us toward shattering a bad self-image or destructive patterns. In other words, he brings the unconscious into consciousness and helps us become more aligned with our true, honest selves, which is an important part of growing as enlightened human beings. No matter how hideous or loathsome it may seem at first glance, we need to see the whole image of ourselves and accept it all before we can set ourselves free. We realise the devil is an angel too, a fallen one with horns and an appetite for flesh, yes, but nonetheless an angelic creature who is here to guide us and teach us how to become our own most uncensored, authentic and unapologetic selves. And then we have 4 keywords: shame, darkness, lust, exposure. So it doesn't actually go into any of the symbology on the card. Okay, 3 of Cups. The 3 of Cups is a card that celebrates friendship, sisterhoods or brotherhoods, and group activities in the most positive, empowering and caring way. It also speaks of sharing sorrows, joys and emotional outpourings in trusted, familiar and safe environments. The snake, winding its way up the tree, symbolises the connection to pure primal energy, such as dancing the night away with friends without ulterior or romantic motives. Just the way your energy level can increase by being in the presence of good friends embodies this card's meaning. The snake also symbolises the process of healing and creative life force. Is there any better place for healing, transformation or genuine, honest advice than in the company of loyal, dependable and caring friends? This card is all about cohesion, circles of trust and empowering one another through bonding, sharing and confidentiality. And then again we have 4 keywords: friendships, celebration, group activity, healing. So we do have some of the symbology explained in this card. It's a shame that we didn't in the Devil card. So let's look at the King of Wands. The King of Fire and Passion never rests, always working, creating. Even in his dreams he is onto something marvellously grandiose. He can turn untamed visions into projects and creations of beauty and passion. He makes the whole world envious of his abilities, ambitious visions, and powerful manifestations. He isn't creating these things for the sake of approval or to be applauded, but because he cannot stop himself. He is pure, unstoppable fire and devotion. Always reaching higher and going further than last time. An endless strive for perfection is his driving force and source of motivation and inspiration. This king is not bothered by everyday routines, trivialities or practicalities. He is a wild, intense lover and a warm, affectionate partner. Impossible to satisfy or tire, the King of Wands is on a constant quest for pleasure, excitement and passion. His great self-confidence and powerful energy can come off as arrogant or dominant towards those around him, but this springs from his tendency to be impatient rather than a lust for power. And the 4 keywords: passion, creation, untamed, powerful. Again, it's not explaining the symbology or the image in this card. So it does in some but not in others. That's an awful shame. I would like to know the background to the images. I really would. But that's not being provided, I don't think, in this guidebook. Nevertheless, what a beautiful deck. And yeah, I think I'll probably use this using some sort of intuition. I think I will read the guidebook through, and I think more so the imagery is what's going to spark the meanings for me personally, if I was doing a 3-card reading. So yeah, that's my first look and first impressions of this amazing Earth Magick Hermetic Prophecies tarot deck by Maria, and I cannot say that word. I'm not sure at all how to say that word, or those 2. Here, it's here. You can find them at youluckydevil_tarot, and the artwork www.danielmartindiaz.com. So maybe there's a bit more on their social medias that I can delve into. I'll have a look. Anyway, thank you for being here. Thank you, Cheryl, for your lovely little gift. Much appreciated. And until my next video, thanks for being here. Bye friends. Bye.